I developed a desire to be great in this sport. And that desire was greater than my urge to go out and party or waste time eating junk food or whatever. I wanted to be pro, and I sacrificed a lot to get here. You know, I was fighting to get where I wanted to be.
It almost broke me, and to be honest, maybe it did break me as I went on and I achieved massive success and global, out of this otherworldly superstardom. It overcame me at times. So to promote and fight at a high level deserves support and respect.
I was the shadow. Nobody knew much about me or what I was doing or where I was, but all the other guys knew each other. They knew all about each other, but Dorian Yates, they didn't know. So it kept a little fear in their mind because they couldn't see me all year round.
As we get deeper into conversation about it, I don't really regret anything. I thought that was the right age from the start. I was more focused on, okay, this is the turning point in my life. This is really what I want to do. I started pursuing, like, what my passion I learned was weightlifting. I mean, I love to be in the gym.
I just want to give a shout out to this little kid. He 8 years old, and he at home laying on the floor in the living room watching Conan the Barbarian. And he turned around and he looked at his mama and he said, I want to be a muscle man when I grow up.
Here's the mistake that most men make about discipline. They think discipline means forcing yourself to obey rules, grind through routines, or follow systems they don't even believe in. That's not discipline. That's compliance. And compliance doesn't last.
Man, if you got to get up every single morning and remind yourself how hard you need to work, probably need to choose a different profession, you know, because that shouldn't be there. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. You know, if I'm not training, I'm missing it. If I'm not watching a game of basketball, I miss it. There's no place I'd rather be. And if you have that feeling, then you're truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
Anybody can train and eat, but what's driving you to do what you do in life? This is the most important thing. What drives you? Because what drives you will be an influence to someone else. I don't care about how big my arms is or how much I can bench press in the gym. You know, it's not about how you look, it's about connecting with someone.
I was kind of an introvert. I didn't really want to be a social. I never was the most genetically gifted guy on that Olympia stage, but I trained my ass off.
But it's about training hard as fuck, okay? And that's one thing I'm good at. Not good at a lot of things, but that I'm fucking great at.
It's a lot of hard work. It's hard work that most people don't realize, and I think the consistency of the hard work is the hardest part.
If you train nice, you're gonna have a nice physique. I don't want a nice physique. I want a fucking insane physique. So I'm gonna train fucking insane.
Why don't you talk about good times? That's happy.
Right.
That's easy shit. I want to tell you how you can help yourself get through the times that suck. 90% of your life will suck. 10% will be fucking happy. His life still sucks because he hasn't faced something that bothered him his whole fucking life.
Motherfuckers, they would have stopped. They hit 6-plate deadlift, they would have called the fucking workout. That was 2 hours ago. We in here working every day.
You have friends that you can talk to.
I don't have one friend in my entire life. My experience in life produced the person that I am. And the person that I am, I was never successful with friends.
If you tell your friend tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'm gonna meet you at the gym, you're gonna be at the gym at 9 a.m. just because you don't wanna let him down. But if you tell yourself tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm gonna be at the gym, you're not gonna show up, you're gonna be late. Why? Because it's you.
I don't have any natural skill. I fucking suck at pretty much most things in life, honestly. The only time I could get good at anything is if I spend unhealthy amounts of time doing whatever that is.
The fight and the battle every day is between me versus me. When I wake up in the morning and I wake up late, I'm upset with myself. I hate myself that day. You have to get to a point that when you do something in life that is out of your routine, you're actually disgusted by who you are, which means the next day you're gonna get it done and you're gonna be right on time.
Growth. The growth of the muscle is the time in which weight is applied to the muscle. The muscle's force, the taxation on the muscle. How long of a process is that?
If I start having a plan B, then all of a sudden I'm becoming, in a way, a naysayer to myself.
Wow, yeah, true.
So because that means now that I'm saying, well, maybe this isn't working out. And if it's not working out, we should have a plan B. So to me, this is the most dangerous of all of the naysayers, is me saying no, and it's impossible maybe to myself.
Nothing is going to be changed by you sitting in front of the TV, eating more shit, consuming more mindless information, being more of a loser than you already are. That's not going to fix the situation. So you really only have two choices here. You have the choice to accept your reality as who you are and live your life as that person from now until you die, which I'm pretty sure you don't want to do, or you have the ability to acknowledge.
I had that gym, and that gym taught me a discipline, it taught me sacrifice, and it just taught me how to trust my decisions, And when I started trusting my decisions, I started seeing changes that I was in control of, not anyone else.
Yeah, everybody wants a magic pill. Yeah. Even with advice, you want this magic pill. It's a grind, kids. That's the best piece of advice. That's it. Embrace the grind. Fucking get out there when you don't want to get out there. Get up when you don't want to get up. Push when you don't want to push. When you want to take a nap, get up and go. Just go. You gotta go. And you gotta force your mind. You gotta steel your mind. And if you do that, you'll be successful and you'll be happy. And if you don't do that, you're gonna be miserable and you're gonna have these feelings like you could have done more.
Because human beings need to hear this. They need to stop hearing these hacks on this and that. There's no fucking hack, bro. There's no fucking hack. Yeah, you may this and that and saunas and, and all this shit that they, yeah, it's great. There is no fucking life hack.
I get a common question all the time. People approach me and they say, Jay, what's the secret? What's the secret? There's no secret. It's the secret is progression, consistency, dedication, day in, day out.
This sport is definitely challenging, and I've learned a lot. And so have all these guys about yourself and what you're faced with in adversity and overcoming. I just didn't give up.
And there's basically like a paradoxical type of thought process here, because people think that when you're stressed, you need to take a break. And then by taking the break, it pulls you further from the things that you know you need to be doing, which creates anxiety and creates more stress. So it becomes a cycle that you can't break out of unless you actually go do the things you know you're supposed to do.
The grind is real. It only gets harder. But you can press on knowing this. It's not the fight on the horizon that defines you. It's the fight inside you.
And I don't think that way now. I was just disappointed that I didn't kill them back then. That was just my main objective, because I wanted to succeed so bad, and the fear of not succeeding was worse than dying. So I just wanted to make sure they never got up.
There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized, you're never going to feel like you accomplished anything.
What's your purpose? A lot of people live their entire lives not knowing, not being happy, because they feel as though they're not fulfilling their purpose. One time in my life I felt that.
Mediocre people cannot stand high achievers, and high achievers cannot stand mediocre people. It's not going to work. You never have any team chemistry. You never have any togetherness, because everybody's not bought in to the same principles and values, and everybody's not bought in to the same standard.
Never focus on things on the outside. I never put nothing before I put boxing. This always came first at 4:30 in the morning. When my opponent is sleeping, I'm working. And when he's up working at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I'm working.
Maybe it's because I was actually born unattractive. So I was already on the ground. Only one way to go, which was up. That could be a flippant comment, but there is some sense to it.
Falling down, failing is part of life. Is life. Getting up every day, no matter what, is living. And it's gonna knock you down. Yeah, it's gonna knock you down. You're gonna fall on your face and you're gonna be depressed. And you gotta keep moving forward. Life comes to you. You attract what you are. You're a down, deadbeat kind of guy, you attract that. If you're an optimistic, positive kind of person, stuff comes your way. I guarantee you. I've done it both ways.
And when you really focus, you hear everything.
When I come to the ring, I notice everybody, I can hear you breathing. I can hear you talking. I hear everything. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. And once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one can beat me.
The loudest person in the room is always the softest person in the room. Because if you yelling, I'll be like, what is you yelling for? I'm right here. Why are you doing all that extra stuff? You trying to impress somebody, like, you want some attention, don't you? See, I'm the person to tell you, let's go in the room, let's go in the back, where ain't nobody around. Let's see who come out.
Fired the fuck up, man. Motivated, pumped up, man. Early still, man. Early. Some people just getting up, going about their first endeavor of the day. We've already done a few endeavors, man. We already kicked some ass. We like a taste of that. We want to kick some more ass. We didn't just wake up and grab a fucking shower, you know, wash our nuts and then grab a coffee for some energy to go to work. No, we just earned some fucking energy. That kind of energy, once lit, never goes out.
Your dreams are waiting on you. If you want to change your life, you got to do it. You got to put in the work. You got to take the action. You got to go through the process. Nobody or nothing else has got to do it for you.
I'm what fear looks like. Look at me. If you think anybody's afraid of me, I'm probably 1,000 times more afraid of them than they are of me. That's why I'm more aggressive than they are. My whole life is fear-based. I'm afraid of my mother's boyfriend. I'm afraid of the guys outside. I'm made for that. That's what I'm made for. Absolutely. That's who I am. I want to be up more than anybody wants me to be down.
Self-identity is the biggest problem that we have going right now. That's why social media is so relevant, because you're looking at everybody else's life and you're saying, that's the perfect life, and they're doing it, oh my gosh, and I want this and I want that. But you're afraid to test yourself every day. If any man in here in the military knows one thing, you got to stand like a trooper. You got to present yourself like a man every freaking day. Day in, day out, day in, day out.
No one gives a fuck about you. No one gives a fuck that your dad hit you or your dad molested you or your dad beat your mom or whatever tragic story you had. No one gives a fuck about you. And the only reason why people give a fuck about me is because I have a belt. But think about it, if I wasn't a fighter, who would I be? I'd be some piece of shit motherfucker with a criminal record, working some job, probably trying to fucking steal copper from the construction site. And you'd be like, oh, you're the asshole. Society, man, it's fucking brutal.
Like, what the fuck, man? It's disgusting. You're a grown-ass fucking man walking around with your tail tucked between your fucking legs. How about you stand up for once, and you stand up for not only the things you believe in, but for yourself, and for your future self.
If you can barely decide to take any action at all, and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else.
You want to see how much you can take, how much you can handle of life. You say you love life, you want to live life. I'm going to show you life. Life is beautiful, but you have to accept the good and the bad as being beautiful.
You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. The safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. So whatever you're doing, do it like your life depends on it. Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. You got to get after it, and you got to have discipline. Sometimes one person is just not keeping up their end of the deal. Yeah. They just fall off. And there's some people, when you met them, they had hope, and then eventually that hope just fucking leaches out of them, and they're not fun to be around anymore. And you try and you try and you try to encourage them, you try to give them suggestions, and they don't follow through. At a certain point in time, you can't save a drowning man, because you're gonna fucking drown too.
Your anger gives you great power, but if you let it, it will destroy you. That impossible anger strangling the grief until the memory of your loved one is just poison in your veins. One day you catch yourself wishing the person you loved had never existed, so you'd be spared your pain.
As for the 3 W's, you gotta want it, you gotta work it, then you gotta win it.
I know that's right.
Now, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you go work it. Then if you do those 2, you're gonna win. Here you go.
How long does it take to save up a down payment to buy a house? 5 years? 5 years. How long does it take to prepare to run a marathon? 6 months? How long does it take to get your black belt in jiu-jitsu? 10 years? Something like that? So let me ask you this. Does today really matter? Does one day really matter? you're good. It doesn't really matter. It's so far away. And you're going to rationalize and all that stuff. But you lose track. Your lizard brain says, it's easier just to not do that thing. It's easier to scroll Instagram, so I'll just keep doing that. So you have to figure out what your motive is, and you got to remind your lizard brain and slap it upside the head.
And you do it right, or you don't do it at all. Small things, no one gives a shit about. No one's ever gonna see it, but I see it. That's a differential right there. That's everything. Because that's a small step of what the big steps become. And if you shortcut the simple, easy ones, how you ever gonna complete from start to finish the ones that really matter?
And I think one of the most disappointing things in my life is that my greatest form of suffering has been for a game. Like, do you know how many days when you want to be a good athlete or a better athlete that you do something you don't want to do? You wake up, you don't want to wake up, you go train and you go a little bit harder and a little bit further and a little bit tougher with a little bit more determination just so I could be a little bit better at this thing. And then when you think about it, it's just a stupid game.
Kids these days going about, I was bullied, I was this, I was that. We all were. We've all been picked on, we've all been called names, we've all been in the fights at school and shit like that. None of us turned out to be serial killers and go on and fucking kill other people or ourselves, so you just need to fucking deal with it.
Well, I see Kobe Bryant already working out. So once I set my foot across that line, I started working out. And so I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I looked down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? So he was working out, like, it looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here.
There's few things in life that you have so much control over where you've put X amount of effort in, you'll get X amount of result. The gym is one of the things, business doesn't work, relationship doesn't work like that. You don't know what's coming from it. But when you eat right, when you train hard, you get the result. And when you put yourself in difficult situations, you're forced to be in a place to grow mentally.
Get in good shape and go kick some ass. Find that inspirational story. You want to motivate people. You want to inspire them to be greater than themselves. It's not about you guys. It's not about, going around and be boastful. I'm the guy that's been on the cover. I'm this guy. No. The greatest high is the fact that you were on the cover and someone saw it and changed their lives. They become someone better than they were because of you.
And it's, I think you're a different guy if you go even when you don't want to. Or when you subjectively have extra difficulties. Nobody knows that you did it.
Every morning when I wake up, I actually pray that I don't deceive myself. Because it's like, your mind is a very funny place. I mean, I've always said, it's your second thought and your first action that you're responsible for. Your first thought, throw it away.
Your most valuable asset is a perseverance you learned along the way, which is now also bled over to all spheres of life to make you more successful in your relationship and your business career and everything else. But let's say that business career now all of a sudden, because you love this so much, like Jobs did, and Buffett did, they loved what they did. Now I want to do that every day. I want to wake up every day and do what I love. How fortunate is that?
The life you want is on the other side of the shit you don't want to do. If you can't be disciplined, if you can't work hard, if you can't rule your mind, it will rule you. Hard work beats talent every single time. If you can be 1% better, if you can do what you say you're going to do, success is only a matter of time.
Getting up in the morning is not so easy for me. Getting dressed is not so easy. I have to make a decision. Am I going to be a fighter today, or am I going to be a victim?
There's something that I just want to say to everybody up there in the nosebleeds and everybody watching this on TV at home. Listen, I'm a normal person from a normal family, from a normal home, in a normal area, just like you guys watching at home. Sometimes normal people can do extraordinary things, and I'm just proof of it. Let's just work hard and go for it, man.
People who do stuff that hasn't been done before, and people who do stuff that people say they can't do. That inspires me. Hard workers, people that are chasing their dream no matter what people are saying, no matter what people think. That I take inspiration from that.
People think running is about speed, about medals, records, but running isn't measured in numbers. It's about the fight against yourself. It's chasing the edge of pain until the mind goes quiet. Chasing a high that only few know about. Running exposes you. That's why we run, to test the edge of who we are.
Mike Tyson said,
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. It's just as true as in boxing as it is in life. You can set all the goals and make all the plans you want, but sometimes you're going to get punched in the face. You can dream up what the future look like, then you just get punched in the face. But the difference between getting knocked out and being able to keep fighting is how focused you are on the next step towards your goals.
It takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact they're like, hey, you're not going to hit it big. And guess what? A month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not going to hit it big yet. And they're going to be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not going to hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're going to feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
Just like anything else, just like jiu-jitsu, technique will win. Rock climbing, technique will win. It's interesting that people think you'll be able to fight without training, but why wouldn't you be able to play guitar without training? And that's what people think. Same thing with leadership. People think, oh, well, you can't really learn leadership. It's like, no, leadership is a skill, just like guitar is a skill. There's moves that are just like playing chords, and people don't understand that.
People want to know why they consistently have some of the best wrestlers in the world. And it's simple, because they don't have a mindset of excuses. You know, their culture is not one of I need this to succeed.
To every kid watching, I want you to hear me loud. You are not your zip code. You are not your last name. You are not your setbacks. You are your vision. You are your work ethic. You are your will. You are the quiet whisper inside you that says, I know there's more for me in this life. Hold on to that voice. It will be tested.
Every second of every day I was daydreaming, but of course I can go back and think there. You know, that's I live there in my. You know what I mean? I always be there. You know, I show up and work every single day like I'm not in the position I'm in, like I'm not me. So that's the mindset I have. It's working.
The people who are really extraordinarily successful didn't sit around watching success porn. They just went and did it. They had such an overwhelming desire to be successful at the thing that they were doing that they just went and did that thing. They didn't have time to study and learn and listen, and they just did it. It's the overwhelming desire that's the most important, and the focus that comes from that.
If I could tell myself one piece of advice as a beginner, it's the value on the actual behind the scenes in the gym. No one's watching, the stuff that's not flashy, the stuff that actually takes effort and consistent grit and teamwork. Those are the things that really matter. Those are the things that can propel someone forward more than you'd ever know.
When you think about shit, you're like, 7 o'clock at night, man, I'm tired, just got back home from work. Will I go to the gym or not? Hour and a half passes, it's now 8:30. You didn't go to the gym, but you know damn well your evil twin inside of you did go to the gym, and he's out there, and he just got better than you. That weakness, and you think I'm tired, comes in and overtakes your potential and stops you from becoming the person you can be.
Unconditional self-love. That is the eliminator of fear and insecurity. When you can face off against your shadow, the worst parts of yourself, the secrets, the negative critics sitting on your shoulder telling you what you can and can't do, who you are, which are lies, you know, because the critic is incredibly good at shit talking you.
Don't worry about all these things that are out of your control. Focus on what you can do. Focus on the 2 reps you got. I'm just a story like everybody else. It's all just a narrative.
You know, people chase ghosts. They're looking back at something that don't exist no more,
gone.
dude. That version of you's gone. It's good. You've evolved. Yeah, you've gone through some like hard shit, but those hard times, those struggles are what build you into who you're meant to be, man.
So just experimenting. I think experimenting is the biggest thing in jiu-jitsu. Experimenting and not being afraid to fail. So just go in, experiment, don't be afraid to fail, and really think about, you know, what you're doing. Like, don't just come in and just go through the moves. Like, come in with like a set of long-term and short-term goals of what you're trying to accomplish.
But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to.
And the truth is a starting line. When you sit there in the ugly mirror and say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and this, you finally started your life. Maybe 40 years old. Maybe 40 years old. 5, 6 kids, wife. The second you look in that mirror and you say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Well, basically, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I'm all these insecurities. Your life finally started.
There's tough times when you're doing your stupid little job that you hate every minute of. And there's tough times when you're broke for a while you're chasing your dream, you know what I mean? But don't dwell on that, you know what I mean? Just pursue what you love, do what you love.
There's different levels of actualized thought, where like if you think something, you know, and you constantly think the same thing, you can start to ingrain it in your mind. And but if you say something and you consistently say like, oh man, I'm so tired, you're convincing yourself that it's true.
It's like wearing a permanent piece of clothing for the rest of your life. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man, because everyone sees you in that. Just so it happens, you know the tailor really well. You own the needle and the thread of this piece of clothing you're wearing. It's your body. How do you want to look in the mirror? Every single morning, do you want a positive reinforcement or do you want a negative one about your day? How do you want people to see you?
I love the freedom that it brings me. I love the fact that it keeps me in shape. I love the confidence that this sport gives me. I love to go to the gym, to train with my training partner, the camaraderie that I have. I love the science of the game, the art of war, the chess game of fighting. I love that.
Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Personal power. That to me is the single #1 foundational key to all success. If you use it, you can get everything else that you want. Personal power means the ability to take action, to follow through, to take the steps that are necessary to take an idea and translate it into reality.
Nothing works the first time, and sometimes it doesn't work the first 5 times or 10 times. If you want to increase your success, you must double your rate of failure. He said success lies on the far side of failure. So you don't sit there and say, which of these should I do? You pick the one that's the most logical and you do it.
What is really stopping you? What's holding you down with a damn shackle and chain, keeping you from getting after it? If I'm going to scan for some old t-shirts at Goodwill, it's not that I'm looking for a shirt where I'm like, okay, everybody likes this shirt. That means it must be good. Sheep mentality much? No, man, I'm scanning around. I'm like, okay, what do I think is going to work for me? I'm not joking. Taking a bit more control of your life as a whole system, even just in general, if you can kind of back off and push away any real major stressors or kind of not give them the attention that they think they deserve, like let's say the action of somebody barely inconveniencing you a little bit, sometimes that's somebody's like main event of their whole day. And you know what that kind of person is? That's a fucking complainer.
See, one thing we have to understand about an identity, it's only going to get you to a certain point, right? Information is only, it can only work up into a certain threshold. So this is why I keep telling people, like, for you to hit the new level, you're gonna have to become somebody that you've never been. Who you were to get to the level where you're at, that's great, that worked, but it ain't gonna work going to the next level.
I think goal-oriented mind, particularly in sports, but I also in business or anything really, I think is super important because the clarity is something that is essential to have also peace of mind and to have a calm heart, that you know what you're doing and that you set your goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and you know exactly the strategy that you need to implement to achieve them.
If you're succeeding at a life that you hate, imagine how great you'd be at one that you actually enjoyed. But there's so many people that are crushing it and then not fired up for what they do. Imagine how good you could be if you actually woke up on a morning and were excited for what you're about to do.
Because sometimes I really don't know. Maybe sometimes I agree, maybe I have bad image in a pitch because I'm too serious, I take serious. But if you really know me, if you are my friend, if you live inside my house, if you share the day with me, you will know that I hate to lose.
These the championship rounds, bro. This is where all that shit counts. And either you gonna show up and get that ring, get that trophy, get that dream that you've always wanted, or somebody else sign that same contract is gonna get it before you.
In other words, if the outcome changes, does it change who you are, what you said, and what you seek to accomplish? Because for most of us, when we don't get what we want, a champion is made on the other side of I don't feel like it. Right? Everybody that gets up every single day, they might not feel like it. But there's certain cats that's gonna embrace it and figure out a way to get better. And there's other cats gonna retreat, they're gonna quit, and they're gonna settle into mediocrity.
The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. The most important quality or characteristic that you can develop for happiness and success is to be unstoppable. And you know how you become unstoppable? It's by the basic psychological behavioral development principle of simply saying it to yourself. Because whatever you say to yourself and believe over and over again, you start to believe as a reality.
You know how hard I work? You know how many years, bro, it took me to build this right here? With my hands, like bare hands. Nobody, period.
Say, Dwayne, I'm sad. Dude, that's a part of life. You think you're the only man on this planet that's sad? Say, Dwayne, I'm going through depression. Well, welcome to the world. Welcome to the rest of us. You think I don't go through depression sometimes? You think I don't get sad sometimes? You think I don't just feel wore out and burnt plumb down to the bottom of my soul? We all do. We all do.
What is the average number of times that a person tries on a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? The average is less than 1. Because most people quit before they try the first time. What they do is they say, I want to do that, I want to double my income, and I want to do this, and I want to come up to gold level, I'm going to do all these things, but before I do, I'm really tired and I need to take a break to a wonderful place called Someday I'll.
It takes no skill and no talent and no self-restraint whatsoever just to follow your flesh. An animal can do that. A dog can do that. You know what mature people do? Mature people say no to what feels good and they pursue what is good.
No person that's ever won Olympic gold became a multi-millionaire. No person in the history of the friggin' universe has ever done that and had balance. Can you get better so that you have more space for other people you love? 100%. Can you learn how to be more efficient? Yeah, you should. If you don't, that's because you're not good enough, yet.